Hey guys, welcome back. I know it has been 2 weeks. So this is what happened. So I took 1 week just to kind of get everything finished in my house, to get all my housework caught back up and all that stuff. So I was set to start making videos, and Sunday, that following Sunday, I woke up to a phone call that my girlfriend from Florida was down and was here for a week. So I ended up having unexpected company, which was amazing because we hadn't seen each other in a couple years. So I just took the week and we enjoyed spending time together, and, yeah, that was pretty much it. So she left yesterday, and so here I am. This is Friday when I'm filming this. And I ended up collaborating with a new company, and it is called ToAuto. T-O-A-U-T-O. I can never remember the name, so as you can see, I wrote it down here. So this is what they call the fast melt UV curing machine. So we are going to try this out today. So I pulled out my little heart mold, and we're going to do all the letters and the trim in UV resin, and then I'm going to pour it with some 4-hour fast cure now that I can debubble it in the new Let's Resin curing machine. I love that thing. So that's the plan for this. But first, let's go over this. So I took it out of the box, and this is what it looks like a little toaster oven. You remember those little easy bake ovens? That's what it reminds me of. So it opens up, and it does have the tray, that you can slide different heights or whatever. So we will have to take the plastic off of this. And then you have your power switch and your controls. So let me go ahead and get this plugged in, and we will try and figure this out. So this is what we have got. Oh, hang on here, move my cord. Okay, so I'm trying to see here how we can, so you can see it's on, and so I guess you set your, this is your, I don't know if it's minutes or seconds here. Hang on. Like I said, I just got this. Let's just, I want you to be able to see it, but I don't want to bend the cord either. So, and it does come with a book. Okay, so we plugged it in. You did, okay, so then you close the door and turn the knob on the power device. All right, it doesn't do much, but and then press up and down button to set the count. All right, so let's see, we'll put it at 10 seconds. And then you press the S button to start. And it's on. And it does have a fan. And I like the fact that this is blacked out so that we don't get all the UV rays coming out of it. So yeah, very easy. You can, there is a mold that you can have it so it's just on, but I never use that anyway, so I'm not gonna. Press and hold the S button for 6 seconds, and then press, okay, so, all right, so let's go ahead, and I'm just gonna set my instruction book there, and we are going to just, all right, just let me move some of this stuff out of my way, because when I'm demoing something, I like to do it on the table so that you guys can see, you know, what I'm doing. All right, so this is what we're going to be working with today. So I pulled out the Let's Resin UV dark colored resin and the just the regular UV resin. So I think I'm gonna get some tape and just make sure that I don't have any little bitsy bits. So hopefully you guys have all been doing fantastic. So I did start another channel, guys. I know, I can't even keep up with my painting one, but I started a cooking channel because right now my garden has been producing like crazy and I've been canning. So, and because you guys know I have developed a gluten allergy, and I know a lot of people, you know, have a gluten allergy. So I have been learning to make like my portion gluten-free. So on my channel, like the first few videos, I've got 7 loaded right now. They're going to pretty much be canning. I do have one video making gluten-free homemade bread, and another one showing how I turn a regular chicken Kiev into a gluten-free one. So I will put the link to that channel in the description for those of you that, you know, maybe want to follow that channel as well. At least with that channel, what I make, we eat, so I'm not trying to store it. I still have not got some good photos and updated my website yet. I still have to do that. But, you know, we're slowly getting there. All right, do I have another one of these that's not gunky? No, so let's just take a knife and we're just gonna kind of scrape that off. There we go. There. So that way I can spread the UV resin around and all right. So with this one, I want the trim to be in a blue. Let me see. So this one is a dark blue. Let's see what color it is here. That's a lighter blue. I mean, I can make up my own color. Let's see what this is, royal blue. And that's a bit lighter than I want. All right, I think we're gonna use this one. So what I'm gonna do is we are going to, so that's for the end. I do want a red for my rose. That's not really red, that's more of a pink. Let's see if this is more of a red. Yeah, all right, so we're gonna do that for the rose. And then for the leaves, we're gonna use, there's 2 greens in here. So we have a light green and kind of like a blue green. So we'll maybe do the leaves in this, the stem in this one. And let's see. Maybe we'll do this blue for the letters. With the dark blue, I think that will look good. All right. So I think we've got our colors picked out. I'm going to start with the letters because I have to do more scraping. And then when we get around the edge, I know everything else will have been set, you know, and cured. So we're going to start with the light blue in the words. And when I did this the last time, the thing that I found that worked the best was basically like squeegeeing it over the letters and then cleaning up around it. So, all right. Let me grab a cup so I can keep these upside down. So that way it's just going to make it a little easier. All right, I'll stick that one there. So this new company also does wax melters. So we might be doing another candle video coming up. We will see. And I just want to make sure that I don't have any bubbles in those corners. All right, And let me just get, oh, really? Just get my pokey stick and we'll spread this around. So I'm making this for my daughter. Because she just redid our living room and she's wanting to do some accents with some blue color. So that is why I chose the colors that I chose. All right, so we're just going to, I'm just going to squeeze some across. And we're just going to fill this in. So I might end up needing to use my scribe. Oh, somebody's must be here. Might be my son just getting home from work. Now you could just pour this and then, you know, color your letters after. I like it better this way. I've tried it both ways, and this way definitely works the best. All right, so I'm just gonna So my husband is liking his new job. And we had kind of like a miracle. Because the reason my husband was retired was because he had injured himself at his previous work. And he ended up having a partial knee replacement surgery, and then they went in and had to redo it because his knee it still wasn't working right. And his knee has never been right since the last surgery. He couldn't bend it. He was in constant pain. And so that's why, you know, he's been home for 5 years. And he was at the point where he's like, you know, finances are tight, you know, winter's coming. So I'm going to, you know, try to find a job that I think I can do. And he found this one, and it's just delivering, it's an alcohol distribution company. So, you know, he started, and he was sore for a few days, as to be expected, you know, when you haven't worked for a while. But he liked it, you know, and he likes the people that he is working with. So he did his first week of training, and then the second week, you know, he was on his own. And the second night, I think he was dreaming, you know, that he was still working. And I don't know what he was doing, but he ended up falling out of bed on his knees. And because I have a hard time sleeping, I was awake watching one of my Lifetime recorded shows. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? I don't know. I said, you fell out of bed there, hon. Get back into bed. So he gets into bed, doesn't say anything, gets up the next day, goes to work. I'm, you know, still sleeping when he left. And so he gets home and I'm like, how was your day? And he's like, good. And he goes, you know what's really weird is the pain in my knee is gone. And I'm like, what do you mean it's gone? He goes, when I got up this morning, he goes, I had no pain in my knee. I'm like, are you kidding me? He's like, no. So, and he still has had no pain, which is just bizarre in itself. So I think what happened is he must have had scar tissue, and when he fell, it must have broken that scar tissue up. And so, and then my upstairs bathroom sink somehow just screwed up and was leaking everywhere. All right, now I'm just gonna make sure, let me get a scribe. Because these are little, and I can see there's like a little bit of missing right there. I just want to make sure that I don't have, you know, any bubbles. So yeah, so he was actually able to get on the floor. I mean, he still can't like kneel on it, but he was able to fix the faucet without it being like a major pain for him. So I'm like, that is amazing. I can see a little. I'm just going to put a dab of this because I do see a few spots where I need to add just a bit more. And then I'll just go back over it with the scraper, and then we're going to cure it. So I'm going to try, because it's not very thick, we'll put it on 20 seconds and see how cure it is, because then I'm going to put it in when we get everything done for probably like 5 minutes while I mix up my resin. And that way there we know everything is completely cured through. All right, so that looks good. Now, the part that I'm scraping, this area here is going to be matte. And all the areas that I'm filling in are going to be shiny. Okay. So let's go ahead, and just gonna slide this out of the way. I think there's a covering on this. Yep, it does show. Okay. I just want to make sure I wasn't like ruining anything. So we just got, there we go. All right, my goodness. This is hard to do with gloves on. All right, so we're gonna put this right on here. And I'm gonna put it in the middle rack. And $20. There we go. So I just want it firm enough that I don't have to worry about it, you know, sliding around. And then we're gonna do, all right, let's, oh wow, look at that. Okay, so that worked, and I'm just gonna slide this back in. So let's get our rows done. Make sure I grab the right color, guys. All right, now we just gotta clean up around. So this is more of a pink, but that's okay. It's gonna work. All right, so I do see just a couple of little bubbles, so I do want to pop those. Okay. So if you decide somebody wants to get this UV machine, the link in the description will, I believe, get you an automatic like 5% off. And they are on sale right now, I believe, last I checked. All right, so let's see what color green. Oh. All right, so let's do this blue-green shimmery. For the leaves. And all right, so I don't want it going down the stem because I want to use a different green for the stems. All right, that's going to be, I think, more than enough to finish. All right, and then we're going to use this green. for our little stems. Oh, I should have zoomed you guys in. I'm sorry. And I need just a smidge more. All right, so we'll get that cured. And now we are just going to do the blue outline. That was 20 seconds. Nice and hard. Okay. So hopefully I have enough of this. Actually, yeah, Michelle, it would help if you were using the sticky side down, nummy. All right, so I'm just, in case there's any like extra blue or whatever around where we were working, we're just gonna get that picked up. And let's get our blue in. This isn't quite as dark as I really wanted, but it's gonna be fine. And I'm just keeping it in the groove. And then we'll just go around with our scraper and make sure that, you know, it's in there and there's no bubbles. All right. So I'm just gonna kind of go around. And if there's any bubbles, I'm gonna try to get them out. You know, and anywhere that there might be some of that blue, we just want to squeegee that right on off of there. Ugh. I'm feeling a bit rusty, guys. Ain't gonna lie. There we go. And all right, so I'm just checking for maybe any little bubbles that I'm not seeing. I'm sure I'm missing some, but trying to get all of them. All right, I think. All right, so what I'm going to do is I am going to put this in the curing machine for 5 minutes, just to make sure that it is cured through and through. And I will get my 4-hour fast cure mixed up and debubbled. And then we will be back and get this poured and let that cure. Oh, man. Michelle, why do you have to keep messing with things? All right. And we're just going to pour it in clear. And it will give us that frosted glass look. All right, so all right, so I got it for a minute, and I'll just do that a couple of times. Oh. There we go. All right, so I will be back when this goes off, and I'll have my resin mixed up. That's the 4-hour fast cure. I am blown away with this new Let's Resin. 3 minutes left. Put it for 6 minutes. And there's 3 ounces in each of those cups. I mixed up 6 ounces. You can already see that it's slowly starting to come back down. Okay, guys, I am so in love with the Let's Resin new version of their debubble machine, because this is fast cure, guys. This is the thick stuff. And I ended up adding 3 more minutes onto it. So maybe 10 minutes, but there's no bubbles. Look at that. That was the one reason that I never used the fast cure a lot, because, you know, I couldn't get the bubbles out. So this is going to be amazing. So I'm just kind of, I just filled up my, my alcohol bottle here. And I'm just, all right, so I am, I'm going to spray this, and then we're just going to slowly fill this up. Now I have written down on here that it takes 5 ounces. So I'm like, I don't know how good my measurements were, so I made 6, because we've still got to cover the base. But I figured if we had any left, we could just make an extra. Look at how clear that is, guys. And because it's the 4-hour fast cure, I'm not going to try to scrape any in, because I don't want to introduce any bubbles if I can help it. All right, so now we're just gonna kind of top this. All right, I can add a little bit more, but I do want to fill my bottom, my base here, just to make sure that I have enough to do my base. All right, I can put a smidge more. Oh, I didn't want to do that. just gonna scoop a smidge out. I want it domed, but I don't want it to screw up my little base bottom thing here. All right, and I do have a few bubbles in there. But I'll use my scribe. So let's just get this domed. All right, so I think that's good. Get my scribe. Just heard my purifier kick on. All right, so and I am just going to go around this outside edge, being very careful to not scratch my mold. But if there's any little bubbles, I just want to get them away from the edge and, you know, into an area where they're gonna be able to pop. All right, sorry for my head in the way. I'm just trying to, if I see a bubble, I'm just trying to coax it up. Because we do not want bubbles. I do not, if I can help them. Instead of sticking my head, I'm trying to turn it and make sure that I'm not seeing any bubbles on the edge. All right, so that looks pretty good. I'm just trying to like clean up around these edges so that they will be, you know, nice and pristine. All right, and now we Now we just wait. So I will be back when this is cured, and we'll see how I did. I'm still blown away. I love that I can use this now with no bubbles. Alrighty, guys. I will be back in just a minute. Okay, guys. So it has been 4 hours. This looks amazing. I don't see any bubbles. I am so happy. It's been just over 4 hours, so it's going to be still a little bendy, I think, but oh, well, I guess I should have waited. All right, so this one seems to be a little better. Well, I'll just have to make a new base, that's all. So that came out beautifully. And that is our piece. Perfect. Everything came out amazing. I'm not going to put it in the base because it's still a little bit bendy, but this came out really, really good. So I'll just remake a base because I botched this one up. As you can see, this one should have sat maybe a little bit longer, but I'll just make another base. Not a big deal. So the one thing I did want to tell you guys that I really like about this new machine by ToAuto is you can have something curing in here because it's got the blacked out glass. So you can put a piece in there and still be working on another UV piece in front of it without having to worry about blocking the light. So I will put the link for this in the description below. And yeah, if you guys get it, you are going to love it. It's a good size. And, you know, if you bought more of these plastic pieces, you know, you could do 2 or 3 at a time. So I'm really impressed with this machine. As far as like, you know, all the other ones that I have, I really like the fact that this one here has that blacked out glass so that you can still work on, you know, something else. So we will, you know, a few videos down the road, we are going to use this again. And I'm going to demonstrate how you can do that. So stay tuned for that. But I am loving this piece. It came out really, really good. Now I've just got to, you know, leave it flat so it will finish hardening up flat. I was, you know, I wanted to be able to get this video out for you today, and that it's not going to happen. It's already 7:15 at night here. So, but it dried really good on, you know, right through. So that's a good thing. And yeah. Alrighty, guys, I will see you later. So don't forget, I'll have the link for this in the description. I will also try to find this mold and link it in the description. And I will put my new cooking channel down below as well. I know there's a few of you that, you know, don't mind the cooking. So if you wanted to come over and join that channel, that way there I'm still able to do some of the things that I like, and not everybody that, you know, doesn't want to watch it doesn't have to. So yeah. Alrighty, guys. I will see you guys all later. Bye.